and welcome back to Cooking with Laurie. Today I'm going to be making a spaghetti. You say spaghetti, everybody knows how to make spaghetti. Well, that's not exactly true. There are some people who are learning to cook. Some people are just getting married. They've never been taught to cook anything. And I remember some years ago I had a friend and I had gone to visit her. She was married and she asked me to show her how to cook ramen noodles. And so every recipe is a recipe that someone wants to learn. And so whether you want to learn or you just want to enjoy the show, I welcome you to come and cook with Laurie. Okay, so this is 5 pounds of ground chuck here. You can use ground beef, you can use turkey, whichever one you prefer. I do not put my onions and bell peppers and in here now, because if you do, all of your seasoning is going to be in the drippings of this. When you pour it out, you're gonna pour your seasoning out. So I don't put mine in just yet. Okay, and then you just dice it up and let it brown. Okay, so now my ground chuck is ready and I'm going to work on my other ingredients. I added some olive oil and I'm gonna add some salt to this boiling water because this is for my spaghetti noodles. Okay, so now I'm going to prepare my spaghetti sauce. I'm using Prego with fresh mushrooms. You can use ragu. You can use whichever kind of sauce that you prefer. All right, I'm not doing homemade, my own homemade sauce right now. This is just a quick and easy preparation right now, but I'm using Prego. And because I have a big family, I'm going to pour a medium-sized Prego sauce in as well. Be careful because this will just splash all over you. I have to get myself an apron. I don't usually cook with an apron because I'm usually not a messy cooker, but this is kind of messy. And what I'm going to do with this to kind of thin it out a little bit is I'm just gonna take this over to the sink and I'm gonna put a little water in it and move it around in there. Shake it around.
What's that for, Mom?
This is just to kind of thin it out a little bit because Prego is really thick. Okay. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to add to my sauce is, oh, I better turn my heat on. I'm gonna turn my heat between 4 and 5. All right, and this is tomato paste. This is tomato paste. And I'm just gonna add this in here because, you know, you see sometimes you say, okay, well, the sauce is not sticking to the noodles. And that's why you need that tomato paste. Gives it a great texture as well. I'm just gonna move that around in there, and once it heats up, then it'll get to moving around in there the way that it's supposed to. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna add to my sauce are tomatoes. This is 1 large tomato and a small tomato. Now, you can either use fresh tomatoes or you can use canned tomatoes, but these are fresh, all right? And I'm just gonna pour those right in there. Give it a stir. Next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an onion. This is just 1 large onion. The thing I'm going to add is a bell pepper. This is just 1 small bell pepper. Okay, next, a small amount of red bell pepper. Next, I'm adding a can of mushrooms, drained. Now, as far as seasonings, it's all to your taste. Some people can't have salt, and so you may have your own seasonings that you're going to add, but these are just the seasonings that I add. It's nothing extreme. Everyone can't have salt and different seasonings, so this is going to be according to your taste and what you can have, okay? But this is just what I put in mine. Nothing extreme. I don't even go for the basil and all that because all of that is kind of in your sauce and everything, you know? So there's no need for me to add it. First, I'm just going to add salt. And this is a lot of sauce, so you need enough salt. I'm going to add accent. Accent makes everything taste so much better. And I'm going to add black pepper. And once I'm done stirring this, then I'm going to let it warm up just a little bit more. I'm going to turn my heat up from between 4 and 5 to between 5 and 6. And then I'll add my ground chuck, all right? You know, a little bit goes a long ways. So now I've added ground chuck to the sauce. I'm just mixing it in. And then once this is all mixed in, I'm just going to let it simmer on about 4 so that all of the seasonings can just cook in there and blend together and give you a burst of flavor. Okay, so now while this is doing its thing, I'm going to pop some garlic bread in the oven, and I'm going to drain and wash my noodles. Right, so the question that I asked on Facebook is, do you use sugar in your spaghetti or don't you? And I said that you would find out today if I use sugar in mine. The answer to the question is, for me, do I put sugar in my spaghetti? The answer is yes. I love sugar in my spaghetti. There is no right or wrong answer. It's just like some people put sugar in grits. I don't get that concept, you know. And someone once saw me putting salt on a peach. They didn't grasp. How could you put salt on a peach? But to me, I love it. And so I like sugar in my spaghetti. Okay, so now that I've let this simmer for about 30 to 35 minutes, it is ready. And a way that you can tell when it's really done, just simmering down, is if your bell peppers and onions are soft, not too soft, but they're not hard. Baby daughter, baby child, period, with me today. She loves her mom's spaghetti, and she's going to taste it for me.
All right, now. Wait, hold on, this is funny.
Some meat on there.
It just makes me want to dig in. It tastes too good. You put your foot in this.
I put my foot in it. All right, so thanks again for watching Cooking with Laurie.